Welcome to the Lovestead.
Hello BookTube, welcome back to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica and today I'm sharing with you my March 2022 TBR. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming back. Here at the Lovestead, I like to read a combination of both the dark and twisted, dark romance, thrillers, horror, and the light and cozy mysteries, regular contemporary romance, etc. And typically my TBR and wrap-up videos do reflect this sort of dichotomy between the dark and the light. Before we get started, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to help grow the community. Let me know in the comments, what are some of your favorite things to do in the month of March, wherever you're from? Here in Iowa, March is muddy and bleak. It's not quite warm, but it's also not quite cold. It's kind of a difficult month to love. So I want to try to share some joy and focus on the good things that happen in the month, especially in light of current events. I think we all need a bit of a joy infusion right now. Tell me the things that bring you joy in the month of March. Let's get right into the TBR. I do have a handful of carryovers from February. February wasn't my best reading month. The first carryover is Living Dead in Dallas by Charlene Harris. This is part of a read-along that I'm doing with my friend Amy and Ange. And they are doing the Out of the Coffin read-along throughout the year, reading the True Blood series, or also known as the Sookie Stackhouse series. This is the second book in the series. I will read you the description. Cocktail waitress Sookie Stackhouse is on a streak of bad luck. First, her coworker is murdered and no one seems to care. Then she's face to face with a beastly creature that gives her a painful and poisonous lashing. Enter the vampires who graciously suck the poison from her veins. Like they didn't enjoy it. The point is, they saved her life, so when one of the bloodsuckers asks for a favor, she complies, and soon, Sookie is in Dallas using her telepathic skills to search for a missing vampire. She's supposed to interview certain humans involved. There's just one condition. The vampires must promise to behave and let the humans go unharmed. Easier said than done. All it takes is one delicious blonde and one small mistake for things to turn deadly. I enjoyed the first book in this series, and I'm curious to see where it goes. The other carryover I have is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is a buddy reading that I'm doing with my friend Johara, and it has taken me forever to read this book. Johara is already finished with the book, and I am still stuck at halfway through, and I've been reading it for months now. The issue is I'm just not loving it. And I guess I'll talk more about that when I finish the book. I do plan to finish this book. I'm committed to finishing this one. I don't know if it'll be this month, but I will finish it. I might not read Rule of Wolves. I feel terrible. I'm sorry, Johara. I was not the best buddy reader for this particular duology, so I do apologize for that. I'm an active member of 2 book clubs right now. The first is Middle Grade Monthly, which is hosted by Gavin at How to Train Your Gavin, Jade at JD Ray Reads, and Pris at Pris Peruses. In the month of March, the book selection is Brightstorm by Vashti Hardy. Arthur and Maudie Brightstorm are devastated to learn that their famous explorer father has died in a failed attempt to reach South Polaris, the southernmost point in the world. To make matters worse, the Longtown Geographical Society finds Ernest Brightstorm guilty of sabotaging the expedition of his competitor, Eudora Vane, a respected and powerful member of the society. But then a mysterious clue leads the twins to question the story they've been told. Joining the ragtag crew of the Aurora, a homemade skyship captained by the intrepid Harriet Culpepper, Arthur and Maudie race to the South Polaris to salvage their family's reputation. That sounds like fun. I've heard really good things about Vashti Hardy in general. I've never read any of her work, so I'm looking forward to reading this. I'm looking forward to reading all these books, but this one, I love their middle grade selections. Like Middle Grade Monthly, I tend to really like them. I think last year there were only 2 books that I really didn't enjoy out of the 11 that they selected. So I have a whole video reviewing the Middle Grade Monthly book selections from 2021 if you want to watch that. Bing, there it is. The other book club I am an active member of is the Killing Time with Cozy Mystery Book Club. And for this book club, we do scavenger hunts based on prompts. And the prompt for this month was a title with a pun that you really appreciate. So I'll be reading Latte Trouble by Cleo Coyle. This is part of the Coffee House Mystery Series. It is book 3. This is also on my Serious About Series list, which is a list of book series that I want to make progress on this year. If you want to see that video, bing, there it is. So this is set in New York City and in a coffee shop, and there's little mysteries that happen. I really like this series so far because I learned so much about coffee, and I absolutely love coffee. I drink coffee every day. There's nothing I love more than a nice warm latte. Like nothing soothes my soul like a latte. So Latte Trouble is what I'll be reading for that prompt because like this title is just the cutest. Like a latte trouble. I mean, it's a brilliant pun. Killing Time with Cozies is also doing a group read-along of, I think it's a trilogy, and the first book in this one is this. I think it's called, I don't remember off the top of my head. I feel bad. Death to Helvetica and Back? To Helvetica and Back, I think is what it's called. And I may or may not get to this because I'm having trouble finding a copy of it, but hopefully I can. There are several readathons and read-alongs that I'm interested in March, but I'm also a little bit fatigued on highly structured reading, so I also want to just mood read through March. So I'll list a couple of the readathons that I have my eye on that maybe I'll try and fit some mood reading in for each of those. The first one is March Mystery Madness. March Mystery Madness has been going on for several years now. I think it's pretty well known on BookTube. And this year's theme is 2 by 2 since it's the year 22. It's, I think, having something to do like if you can find 2 letters in the title, 2 books in the series, yada yada yada. So I think that this Latte Trouble can count for that because we've got 2 T's here, just 2 by 2, and then CC. Cleo Coyle 2 by 2. So I think this can count for my March Mystery Madness. You only need to read 1 book to be able to say you participated. So there we go. The other readathon is Middle Grade March, and that's another one where you just need to read 1 book to participate. So Bright Storm can count for that. And then the other readathon that I have my eye on is called Her Story because March is Women's History Month. So Her Story is all about celebrating women in history, whether it's historical fiction or nonfiction. And I might try to fit something in for that. For the Out of the Coffin read-along, I will be reading Club Dead, which is book 3 in the Sookie Stackhouse series. And what I'll do is I'll probably read these back to back so that I just kind of binge read the series. And the Sookie Stackhouse series is also on my Serious About Series list, so I'll be making some progress on my goals with these 2. So Club Dead. There's only 1 vampire Sookie Stackhouse is involved with, at least voluntarily, and that's Bill. But recently he's been a little distant, in another state distant. His sinister and sexy boss Eric has an idea where to find him. The next thing Sookie knows, she is off to Jackson, Mississippi to mingle with the underworld at Club Dead. It's a dangerous little haunt where the elitist vampire society can go to chill out and suck down some Type O. But when Sookie finally finds Bill caught in an act of serious betrayal, she's not sure whether to save him or sharpen some stakes. I like how much she's traveling in these books. So we got Dallas in book 2. We've got Mississippi in book 3. Sounds like a good time. And I realized I never read you the synopsis for Latte Trouble, so let's do that now. As the manager of the historic Village Blend Coffee House, Claire Cozy can steam a fantastically foamy cappuccino and press a perfect pot of Jamaica Blue Mountain. But she finds herself dealing with a mystery that's too hot to handle when barista Tucker unwittingly serves as a poisonous unwittingly serves a poisonous latte to a prominent figure on the fashion scene. I love Tucker. I don't want Tucker to get in trouble. Claire suspects the real target may have been Lottie Harmon, who's debuting her line of Java jewelry at the Village Blend. Now she must protect her thriving business from negative publicity. Again, because that happened in the first 2 books. Lottie from any further danger and Tucker from murder charges. Even if it means jolting the fashion world with some shocking secrets. Ooh, sounds like drama, sounds like messiness. I am there for it. Buddy reads. I do have a couple buddy reads going this month. One you already know of. It is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo that I'm reading with Johara, and I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to finish it, Johara. I promise you. But this is the first book in the King of Scars duology by Leigh Bardugo, and it's part of the Grishaverse. It's the last part of the Grishaverse. So the Grishaverse starts with Shadow and Bone, and then it continues with Six of Crows, which I loved. And then it wraps up with King of Scars, which I'm not loving. So like I liked and enjoyed Shadow and Bone. I loved Six of Crows, and I just am not there with the King of Scars one. I think it's because it's just so highly political. But again, we'll save that for a wrap up when I finally finish the book. So I'm reading that one. I'll also be buddy reading Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen with my friend Helen and one other person from book Twitter, and I can't remember their name off the top of my head, so I'll have to just leave it on the screen here for you. But we will be buddy reading this classic by Jane Austen, and this is also one of the books that Helen recommended me for my BookTube anniversary video, and if you haven't seen that, bing, there that one is. I'm excited. I am trying to read a classic every month, and I failed to read a classic in January and February, so this is going to kick off my classics reading for the year. And I do like Jane Austen. I think her work is fun, and her writing is just so lovely. So looking forward to it. I don't know what it's about. Let me look it up. Marianne Dashwood wears her heart on her sleeve, and when she falls in love with the dashing but unsuitable John Willoughby, she ignores her sister Eleanor's warning that her impulsive behavior leaves her open to gossip and innuendo. Meanwhile, Eleanor, always sensitive to social convention, is struggling to conceal her own romantic disappointment even from those closest to her. Through their parallel experience of love and its threatened loss, the sisters learn that sense must mix with sensibility if they are to find personal happiness in a society where status and money governs the rules of love. Oh, that sounds really good. That sounds a little bit more layered than some of the other books that I've read by Jane Austen. I've read Pride and Prejudice and Emma, and I enjoyed them both, but this one sounds a bit more complex than the two of those, so that makes me happy and excited. I will also be buddy reading The Cabinet of Curiosities by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. This is book 3 in the Pendergrass series, and I'll be buddy reading this with my friend Storm at Storm Reads. I absolutely loved the first 2 books in this series, Relic and Reliquary. They are just absolutely amazing. If you like sci-fi and thrillers and mysteries, they are the books for you. They're just so good. This is about an agent, Pendergrass, who solves mysteries, right? There's elements of thriller in this, and usually quite a bit of sci-fi elements in it as well. Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child have taken us from a pirate's island fortress to the ancient lost cities of Anansi Indians, to the edge of the world and beyond. Now they return to the famous New York Museum of Natural History, the setting of their classic bestseller, The Relic. For the museum cloaks a terrifying secret of the past, not out of the Amazonian jungles or the depths of Africa, but from New York City itself. In 19th century New York, the public flocked to collections of strange and grotesque oddities called cabinets of curiosities. Now, in Lower Manhattan, a modern apartment tower is slated to rise on the site of one of the old cabinets. But when the excavators break into a basement, they uncover a charnel pit of horror. The remains of 36 people murdered and gruesomely dismembered over 130 years ago by an unknown serial killer. So it sounds like they are going to be solving this mystery, probably having to use a lot of forensic science in the process. It kind of reminds me, I mean, there's really no overlapping story threads in here other than the Cabinet of Curiosities, but I really like things that have to do with like curiosities and oddities. I actually read with Storm. Oh, this is kind of cool. So Storm and I read, what was it called? The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher last year, and that had to do with like a cabinet of curiosities and like curiosities and oddities and a museum dedicated to it. So that is so interesting that these overlap like that. I don't think we even planned it that way. Storm, did you realize this? That is that's kind of cool because now we can compare and contrast the two. And wow, okay. Looking forward to it. Very much so. That's what I'm planning to read in the month of March. Outside of that, I'm just going to mood read because I really am craving doing some free mood reading of whatever I want. What are you planning to read for March? What book are you looking forward to the most? Have you read any of the books that I have on my list? If you just want to let me know that you're here, leave me a seashell emoji because you commonly find those and Cabinets of Curiosity. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!